Today with block 2, we're going to be talking about the cut and stitch method. This is actually my preferred way of making half square triangles, and I'll explain why as we do the demonstration. All right, so we're back with square block 2 of the 2020 quilt. So for today's block, we're going to be working with the same pieces that we did on block 1, but we're just going to be sewing them together in a different configuration. So we still have 4 half square triangles and 12 solid blocks, 6 white ones, 6 red ones. Today I'm going to be working with this set of black and white and red blocks. So last time we did the method where you sew, or you draw a line corner to corner and then you sew on either side of the line. Today I want to do the cut and stitch method, which is my favorite method, where I'm going to line my 2 blocks up, but instead of drawing that line, I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and ruler and cut right away. Okay. The reason that I like this method is I feel I can be more accurate with my 1/4 inch seam and accurate with my squaring up. To me, the blade of this cutter is much thinner and more accurate than the tip of a marking tool. So when I put this on here and cut, it's more accurate. When I take this triangle and put it up against my blade, instead of trying to eyeball that line underneath that blade, I can actually butt this right up next to my blade, which again I feel is more accurate. The one thing most people are concerned about by cutting before I sew is that I'm now dealing with a bias that can stretch. Okay, this angle can be a little stretchy. To prevent any stretch or warp of my half square triangle while I sew, I just have to make sure that I don't pull on this as it's going through my sewing machine. I just have to lay it in there. I can control it, but I have to let the feed dogs do the work of pulling that fabric under my foot by itself. So when I put this triangle in there, I'm going to have it right next to my blade. I'm starting with my needle down so I can butt that triangle right up to my needle. And then I just want the machine to pull that triangle through. Don't be the person that's grabbing this back end and trying to help it, because that will stretch your bias. Again, I can leave that right under my machine and continue chain piecing. Remember, I have you cut your squares slightly bigger than you need so we can square them up. So if things shift just a little bit while you're sewing, it's no big deal. Right, so now I can clip them apart, press them, square them up like I showed you how to do in the last block, and we're ready to assemble. Okay, so I have my 4 half square triangles all squared up and ready to assemble. So the next thing I need to do with these 4 is to make my little pinwheel center. So I'm going to take and I'm going to make sure that I orient my dark, and it's just going to be a 1/4 turn each time. And so that's going to give me my pinwheel center. So I'm going to take this, fold it right sides together, sew this set together. I'm going to sew this set together, and then I'm going to come back and sew my 2 halves together. Okay, so now I have my pinwheel for the center of my block. I can double check to make sure that it's gonna be at my 4.5 inches. So again, I'm gonna put my diagonal line down the center of my block. I'm gonna check that I'm at 4.5 and 4.5. If I need to trim it up at all, now's the time to do that. So according to our pattern, I need to make the same units as I did the last time. So I need to use my background and my medium color 1 and make 2 sets of those. And then I need to make a row of 4 blocks alternating my background and my medium color 1. That's going to be using these. So this time, after I have my units sewn together, I'm then going to add my 2 units onto the top and bottom of my pinwheel block, and then my 4 patch units will eventually be added onto the side of my block. And you just want to make sure that you're alternating your colors so you can flip this row up or down to make sure that you have your colors in the right spot. So put that one. So these 2 units together, add my sides, and now I'm going to have my finished block for block 2. So here was our red and white block from block 2. This was my 12 fat quarters combination, and this was my scrappy block. I decided to make that one have a little patriotic feel to it.